गोपालनन्दनः पार्थो वत्सरस्वती Dugdam Geetamritam Mahats. Can somebody give me the meaning, Mataji? All the Upanishads are very nice. Is Karta kya hai? Dogda.
He is the churning person.
The person removing the milk. Yeah, who's milking the cow rather.
Milking the cow. And Arjuna is the vasa, the calf.
Very nice. बाकी जो बचा दूध हमारे लिए
जैसे गाय के बच्चे को पीने के बाद हमें मिलता है.
तो ये बताया जाता है कि पुनाति actually all three people benefit. One who is speaking, the one who has enabled the whole thing to trigger off, और जो श्रवण करते हैं सबका भला होता है when it comes to anything in connection with Krishna. So this is a great opportunity. So I'll sing something very short for a couple of minutes, and then we'll try moving into the okay, how does this work? Do you pull this out? Just works like that, yeah? We don't need to pull anything. How is it? All in?
No, alternates are
The big ones?
yeah, the big ones. I think you just have to let out the air.
Prabhuji, the alternate ones have to be pulled out. The big and the side. 1 minute, can I go there? Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, should I try once? 1 second.
The big ones, yeah.
No, try Prabhuji. And this, over this will also cause that issue.
Hare Krishna. Sorry. I'm going to sing that difficult mantra. All of you can sing now. You're not in a hurry. So sing it slowly. Krishna Keshava, Krishna Keshava, Krishna Hare Krishna. Somebody is adding flavor. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanyam Vishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Ramayam Dadani Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Udavara Shri Guru Vaishnavamsya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Satsadivam Sadvaitam Savadukam Krishna Chaitanya Deva Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sarananda Shri Vishakantamsya Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Kujantam Rama Rameti Mahuram Madhuraksharam Arupya Kavita Shakam Vande Valmiki Kokilam Goshpadi Kritavarashim Mashaki Kritarakshasam Ramayana Mahabharatnam Vande Anilatmajam Ullankhe Sindho Salilam Salilam Cha Shokavanim Janakatmajaya Adaya Tenaiva Dadaha Lanka Namamitam Pranchali Anjaneyam Vaidehi Sahitam Suratramatale Haime Mahamantape Madhye Pushpakamasane Manimaye Virasane Sustitam Agre Vachayati Prabhanjana Sute Tattvam Munibhyah Param Vyakyantam Bharatadi Viparivritam Ramam Bhaje Shyamalam Ramam Bhaje Shyamalam Ramam Bhaje Shyamalam Hare Krishna.
Krishna.
Okay, how many of us have seen the Ramayana serial? How many have not seen the Ramayana serial? Thank you. Oh, those culprits. Okay, it's worth catching up. Yeah, it was quite a hit of a serial, but the content is what made it. And I always say this, बार बार बोलता हूँ कि रामानंद सागर जिन्होंने लिया, उनको स्क्रिप्ट राइटिंग के लिए मार्क देनी नहीं पड़ती है. क्यों? स्क्रिप्ट तो kind of detail that Valmiki is given, so it is directly given so beautifully. Just हमारा दिमाग उसमें अंदर डालकर कुछ लोचा ना कर दें तो वो बड़ी बात है. That's the beauty of Ramayana in itself. तो पिछले हफ्ते अभी हम 6 साल से रामायण every week has been going on. Maybe 5, max 7, 8 weeks in a year we may skip. This time in the holiday we skip for a change, but otherwise generally we are on right through the year. और उसमें पहले अयोध्या बाला, फिर अयोध्या कांडा. I'm hearing a reverb somewhere. Bala and then Ayodhya Kanda. After that, Aaranya. Because Aaranya means forest. So they've gone to the forest. This is a short chapter. Ayodhya was super big. So till now we have covered like 30% of Ramayana. So by the time we, it's a lifetime journey. 30% in 6 years, yeah. So now what happens after that? We are in the forest with Rama. Who else? Hanuman, no?
Lakshmana.
Hanuman didn't come now. वो scene शुरू नहीं हुआ. He is still out there. He comes in Kishkinda Kanda. Yes, he comes in the next segment. So it's the trio meeting up with so many. इतने साधुओं से संपर्क होता है उनको. Yes. तो पहले आरण्य कांड शुरू होते ही साधुओं का रहने वाली जगह के बारे में डिस्क्रिप्शन है. एंड देन देयर डिस्क्रिप्शन अबाउट हर एक साधु उनके यहाँ जाते हैं. राम, सीता, लक्ष्मण जाते हुए हाउ दे आर रिसीव्ड, हाउ दे डील विद एवरीबॉडी, द काइंड ऑफ अतिथि सत्कार, रिस्पेक्ट, लव एंड अफेक्शन दैट इज शोन. हर एक साधु जो है इच्छुक है कि राम उन्हीं के यहाँ रह जाए, पर राम हर एक से पूछ रहा है कि मुझे अच्छी तरह सीता के रिक्वायरमेंट्स के अनुसार ऐसे एक जगह दो. दिस इज व्हाट वी वर इंसिस्टिंग ऑन द प्रीवियस सेक्शन, प्रीवियस चैप्टर, बिकॉज ये बार बार आता है that a woman's place of work can we all move up a little? Yeah. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Swagatam. So woman's place of work is the home, and it's best that the home is put together in her specs, by her specifications. Okay? And that's what's happening. तो अगस्त्य से भी पूछ रहे हैं. अगस्त्य मुनि भी, Agastya is also a grahastha. So Agastya is saying straight away. Ram doesn't even say, give me a space that Sita will like. With Agastya, he doesn't do anything like that. But Agastya is saying, this place Sita will like this very much. So all that happens. So when they go there, Ram Lakshman को बताते हैं कि आप जाकर find a right space and build a kutia for us to live. So Lakshman does not like this. Because when Rama said, he said, you build a space that will be suitable for you, Sita, and me. So Lakshmana says, I am here to be of service to you. A place that is suitable does not have to be suitable for me. The place has to be suitable for you. आपके लिए जो उचित रहे, आप देखिए, बताइए, आदेश दीजिए, मैं फुलफिल करता हूं. Don't put the onus on this decision on me. Okay? So then Rama understands his mood, takes him by his hand, goes, picks up space. There's beautiful description. He says, the water body पास में रहना चाहिए, नहाने के लिए, पानी पीने के लिए बंदोबस्त होनी चाहिए. Nice forests with lot of flowers and beautiful trees, and deer, peacock, all of this description. And then he goes ahead. Rama spots a space and asks Lakshmana to build. Lakshman, detailed description how he takes bamboo, then he puts planks on top of that, ties it up with bark, and sets the whole thing up. Once the whole space is ready, he goes out, take a bath in Godavari, and comes back with lotus flowers to decorate the space beautifully. Decorates everything, then calls Rama and Sita for the housewarming. Yes, but just before that, he does Vastu, Shanti, and other rituals that need to be. When Rama comes and has a looks at that place, I was also sharing earlier that kamba very beautifully describe करते हैं. Kamba जो है साउथ इंडिया के तमिल में रामायण लिखते हैं और वे बहुत सुंदर तरह से इसका डिस्क्रिप्शन किया उन्होंने. हाउ ही डेकोरेटेड द होल प्लेस. बताते हैं कि नीचे फ्लोर में सैफरॉन लेकर पॉलिश किया उन्होंने. सो दिस होल प्लेस इज opulence par excellence. What you can get, nature's opulence. Yes, he's done the best he could. तो फिर सीता और राम को ले आते हैं उधर जगह दिखाने के लिए. When Rama sees that, they're very very happy looking at जो एफर्ट उन्होंने डाला है. तो राम आकर उनको आलिंगन करते हैं और आलिंगन करते हुए बताते हैं कि इस परिस्थिति में तुमने जो किया इसके लिए मैं कुछ और प्रति कर नहीं सकता हूँ, इसलिए मैं तुमको आलिंगन करता हूँ. And so then Valmiki sort of ends with a phrase which sounds like they lived happily ever after, and they lived like देवताओं ने अमर जो हैं वो जब तक उन्होंने रहा ऐसे राम और सीता उधर रहे. तो ये शब्द अमर जो है देवताओं के लिए जो उपयोग होता है, इट्स अ मिसनॉमर. या बिकॉज वो अमर थोड़ी है, मरने वाले हैं हम जैसे. not such short spans, but they have a huge span of life and they also have to finish their game. तो इसका मतलब है कि yes, they lived happily here, but there's something more coming up. And that's not this chapter. आज की chapter नहीं है, but from the next chapter it's going to be a completely different action zone. Till now we have seen Aaranya Kand और Ayodhya Kand का वो last segment is fully meeting sadhus and it's a very different flavor. जैसे भगवान बोलते हैं, भगवान का आने का कारण क्या है गीता में? That's first कारण. Second, तो अभी first कारण खत्म हो रहा है. अभी second कारण शुरू होने वाला है इधर. So we will see suddenly it says it seems in Ramayana there are two major turning points, and in both turning points there are women who make the turn happen, not the good kind. Yes, and in both cases there is one kind of usage. It says yati dasi yato jata, and who comes there yadrichya. कौन आती है? दासी है. यतो जाता मतलब वो अयोध्या में जन्म नहीं लिया उसने, वो थी मंत्रा. That is the first case. मंत्रा आई, कहानी पलट गया completely. Direction totally changes. इधर उसी तरह अभी कौन आने वाली है? शूर्पणखा is coming. So she comes, the course of the river is completely changing into a different direction after this. So this is the last chapter of peace. So we'll go through this, and we are feeling the winter. I'm feeling, at least I'm not very well. Every Thursday I get some allergy. So I'm feeling winter. So Lakshmana is here going to explain the winter. Don't arrange. I think everybody else is comfortable. I'm the guy having trouble. So there is a generic description. Winter के लिए हिंदी में क्या बोलते हैं? भैया ओके. संस्कृत में क्या बोलते हैं? शीतल भी बोलते हैं. हेमंत ऋतु. बहुत लोग हेमंत नाम है. Just go feel the person. He's cool enough. He's supposed to be a little on the colder side. So हेमंत ऋतु का वर्णना है इधर. तो बताते हैं हेमंत ऋतुर इष्टः प्रवर्तते. तो पहले बात ये बताया जाता है कि राम के लिए हेमंत ऋतु इज वेरी डियर टू हिम. ही लाइक्स हेमंत ऋतु. नाउ लोग पहले दिनों में हेमंत ऋतु पसंद क्यों करते थे? देयर आर डिफरेंट रीजंस. कारण थे पहले कि देयर आर सम मेन सीजन्स वेयर हेवी कल्टीवेशन इज डन एग्रीकल्चर वाइज, और बाकी सीजन कुछ सीजन है जिधर thoda cultivation is good for other activities. Now what are the other activities we are going to see here? तो सूर्योदय के पहले राम लक्ष्मण सीता तीनों उठे. लक्ष्मण is carrying a pitcher so that he'll be able to get पानी लेकर आए वापस आते हुए. तो तीनों जा रहे हैं नहाने के लिए. तो तब लक्ष्मण को मन में एक चीज आता है. तो सोचते हैं अभी अगला चैप्टर सूर्यपणखा का आने वाली है, पर वो पहले जो आई थी वो यदि नहीं आती तो अभी ये किधर होते? Where would they be? Because there's 100 servants doing different things. Thank you, so kind of you. Thank you. There are 100 servants doing different things for Rama. Yes, for a king. Even now, in somewhere like less than 50, 60 years ago, there is some description of some king in Jaipur, some Rajasthan side. So there is one family which collects different herbs. There is another family which grows those herbs. All of them are collected, and there is somebody who makes a paste out of it. And then there is somebody who keeps the water right to his temperature that he requires for him to take bath. This is the king some 60 years ago. Yes? And sorry. Hare Krishna. So, now, you can imagine how it would have been with Rama. Yes? There is a whole entourage which is working, thank you, on putting things in place for everything for Rama. Abhi, Tandi मौसम में anybody takes water, cold water bath? कुछ लोग हैं यार, किधर से आया? Special लोग. It's supposed to be very good for health. Yes? And seasonality. देखिए, भगवान हमको क्या बताता है? भगवान हमको बताते हैं कि यदि किसी को सीखना है, in difficult times and in good times, he has to be equipoised. Yes? वो कैसे सीखोगे? एक्सपीरियंस होगा तो सीखेंगे. थोड़ा उम्र हो जाएगा, लाख बीवी शादी वादी कर लेगा, सीख जाएगा, अपने आप सुधर जाएगा. And like this, many comments will be there. But what is Krishna's comment? He says, Sitoshna Sukha. शीतल और उष्ण जैसे आते हैं, इसी तरह हमारे जिंदगी में सुख और दुख आएंगे. अभी हमने ये एसी से उष्ण तो बंद कर दिया और गर्म पानी से शीतल बंद कर दिया, तो शीतल नहीं है, उष्ण नहीं है. There is no need to adjust to anything. Yes, we don't even कोई. You see that there used to be a habit of people say, you heard this? What does that mean? Somebody is not necessarily happy. आज तो उसका तो चांद से निकल गया, अभी कुछ बोलने के लिए रहा ही नहीं. सब AC always, every time it's always at 24. What wonderful Swargaloka we are in. No, but along with that, what is happening? Our ability to tolerate change has come down, taken a nosedive. This is a very, very important thing. So when Krishna says Shitoshna Sukha Dukkadaha Agama Payino Anityaha, इसी तरह सुख और दुख भी अनित्य है, आएगा और जाएगा. And we have to get accustomed to being in the warmer weather and sweat. That's why then you go to the doctor, he says you're not sweating enough, go to the sauna, go to the gym and start running on this thing. You put through all that. In reality, we need to sweat. Yes? If we don't sweat, there's a lot of toxins that हमसे निकलता ही नहीं है from the body. So, people in the past सतत nature के साथ रहते थे. It's not that they didn't have an option. They could have done many things to run away from nature. Yes? But they didn't specialize in that. We are smart guys, no? We changed everything. अभी भुगतना पड़ रहा है उसके लिए. Yes? Each aspect makes such a big difference in our lifestyle. So, इधर बताते हैं कि संत तो पहले वातावरण बता रहे हैं, ये समय क्या है. It's early in the morning. So who is up in the early morning? Either the gamers who just finished all night playing. Or, or it's people who are sadhus. What is that verse which says night for somebody is day for somebody? Ya Nisha Sarva Bhutanam Pashyam Jagrati Samyami. Then Yasyam Jagrati Bhutani Sa Nisha Pashyato Mune. Oh Muni, he understands. Am I mixing the verse up? So, first is एक के लिए जो रात है वो तो दिन है दूसरे के लिए, और एक के लिए जो दिन है वो रात है. Sometimes I joke at home, I say we only need one bedroom. When we get up and go, kids can come and sleep. Literally that's how it is, yeah. So, तो इधर बताते हैं कि साधु लोग जो हैं सुबह जल्दी उठकर नदी के ओर आ रहे हैं, गोदावरी के ओर आ रहे हैं स्नान करने के लिए. तो इधर एक ब्यूटीफुल डिस्क्रिप्शन है बलदेव विद्याभूषण का कमेंट्री, भगवद गीता कमेंट्री से लिया हुआ है. One cannot give up lust and anger and greed without engaging in swadharma. It may look a little disconnected from the rest. ये साधु महात्मा लोग किसके लिए उठे? अपना प्रतिदिन का दो स्वधर्म जो है वो करने के लिए, सूर्य उपासना, और इसके साथ 3 ऋण. क्या 3 ऋण है? पितृ, ऋषि, देव. These are 3. So they do these activities on an everyday basis. So for that, Baldev Vidyabhushan is saying, वास्तविक बात है कि हमको ये सब चीज करना क्यों चाहिए? All this spiritual stuff, why do we need to do? Because it says कामादि त्यागः स्वधर्मात् विना न भवेत्. स्वधर्म यदि किसी ने पालन नहीं किया, अपने लिए जो what do you say, prescribed हिंदी में जो उपयुक्त, given, any other word, prescribed? I should speak in English. हाँ, निर्धारित बोल सकते हैं. Yes, there's one other word, I'm not hitting it. तो जो नियुक्त किया हुआ, okay, not bad. Madrasi Hindi is working. So कामादि त्यागात, to give up कामादि and all the other doshas. यदि हमें ये दिए हुए ये जो रिचुअलिस्टिक एक्टिविटी जो क्रिया है और भक्ति के कार्य जो नियम जो दिए हुए हैं हमारे लिए, यदि हम उसका अच्छी तरह पालन करेंगे तो सुबह उठना पड़ता है. क्या करें यार, पुरुषोत्तम अच्छा हुआ खत्म हो गया, नहीं तो हर दिन जल्दी उठना पड़ा. Yes, so many things we want to regulate ourselves. Yes, by regulating it is painful for us, but उससे हमारे अंतरंग शुद्धि होता है, वास्तविक शुद्धि happens because of that. So स्वधर्म च शास्त्रात् विना न सिद्धि. तो वो स्वधर्म किधर से सीखोगे? शास्त्र नहीं पढ़ा तो उधर से पता ही नहीं चलेगा तुमको करना क्या है. Then he says अतः शास्त्रम एवस्तेयम सुदीयम. One cannot give up lust, anger and greed without engaging in swadharma. One cannot execute swadharma without resorting to the Vedic scriptures, that is understanding the Vedic scriptures. Therefore the intelligent should have implicit faith in scriptures alone. So this is very nice. So then he says, actually this is season for war. Kshatriya hai, so he's thinking in that manner. This is season for war. क्यों? Why would it be season for war? Just logic.
Because right now you're not sowing anything or growing any.
That's
crops.
there. You may have more hands to join you. The hands that were handling the plow can now handle the spear for a change. Maybe that's a nice one. Good one. What else? Winter.
No rainfall.
That's also there. That that. See, in the traditional time, the Chaturmasya. Yes, why we follow Chaturmasya? Was 4 mahina in the old times. It was raining for 4 months. Today, that we can say Trayamasya. So sometimes Dvimasya. Even that we don't get rain at this point in time. But traditionally, they would never travel for that sake. So So travel was cut out on that particular zone because it's raining cats and dogs. But when it comes to winter, it's fantastic for travel. Now, even when you're going on a war expedition, किसी पर प्रहार करना है, तो भी तुम्हारा soldiers जो हैं, they are not going to be exasperated completely, beaten in the sun. Where are you going to travel? What are you going to do? It will not happen. Yes? So that's an important point. And then he says, and this is also the time, because in winter, people start to accumulate things. Empty house is not very warm. Fill up a few rugs and then some nice cushions, then a nice TV. Where is that? No TV. Mataji, what is this? Oh, this is the TV. Suddenly Ramji came on the TV, so I'm thinking it's a frame G. So the point is, you put all this, then you feel. So winter is the time when you want to cozy up. So he says generally people start to accumulate. I don't know if we actually do a study of shopping habits of people, maybe this would prove itself true. Probably we shop more for the winter than we shop for summer. Yes. Then he says, सूर्य जो है उत्तरायण से दक्षिणायन जब चला जाता है towards, so in the winter season it is moving away from the north and moving towards the south. वो जब उधर चला जाता है, he says the north looks splendorless. वो कैसे दिखता है, ये माता जी लोग को अच्छी तरह सुनना है. हरे कृष्णा. प्रसाद मेरे लिए एक पैक रख दीजिए. I preserve my right for prasad right away. विहीना तिलकेन स्त्री नोत्तर दिक् prakashtate. Vihina, without. Tilakena. This tilaka is not this tilaka. This is the tilaka that ladies wear. The bindi and the sindhu. So he says, just as when you look at a woman, today it's fashionable to have no nothing on your forehead and equate ourselves to the rest of the community we are. We go out of the way to do that. Even in devotees, people think you wear tilak, you don't need bindi. Not the case. Excuse me. I'm not saying it. Here it is. So, vihina tilakena, it says a woman looks, doesn't look, it doesn't beautify her as much as one who has a tilaka and this thing. The north is devoid of splendor like a woman without a sindura and auspicious markings on her forehead. Okay? This is the problem with texts like this. They teach us hard lessons. Hare Krishna. Next, it's peaceful for travel. So, last week, पिछले हफ्ते हम बहुत इसके बारे में बात कर रहे थे. वर्णाश्रम, I think 2 weeks before, no? In the ashram we were talking about that. जब लोग ट्रैवल करते थे, छत्रम एस्टैब्लिश किया जाता था. अभी भी साउथ में जाएंगे तो इतना बड़ा बड़ा पत्थर का बनाया हुआ शेल्टर्स होते हैं, so that people जब ट्रैवल करते हैं, they will be able to go and shelter themselves in those spaces. Man, if you really try going and sitting in those spaces in the peak, even in the summer, because of the thickness of the stone, you will not feel this thing. It is so beautiful. So people used to travel a lot. Or फिर बोलते हैं, listen to this. Now, this is description of, this is not Ramayana. You came to a description of seasons. That's your luck and that's your that's a chapter for you. So feel the season. Enjoy being there in the winter season. That's the whole Lakshmana's words of how he describes. तो बताते हैं ये सीजन में दोपहर का धूप जो है ना बहुत अच्छा लगता है. How many of us agree with that? Yeah, it's so nice to be out in the afternoon sun. Any other time somebody will ever venture out in the afternoon sun? No way. So he says it feels so good and nobody wants to get into the water. So it says अत्यंत सुख संचार, संचार करने में अत्यंत सुख. और फिर मध्याह्ने स्पर्शतः सुखाः. In the midday when the sun hits you, that's like, oh, you go out there, put your hand out and breathe, you know. And the next one he says people avoid water people avoid shade. छाया जिधर है खड़ा रहने के लिए कोई ये तैयार नहीं है. Yes. See, very very beautiful simple descriptions that are there. Contact the heat at midday. Being in the shade of water is unpleasant. पीछे जाकर एक और एक्सप्लेनेशन आता है. लक्ष्मण एक और बता रहे हैं. नदी या तालाब के ओर जब जाकर देखते हैं तो बताते हैं हाथी जो है बहुत thirsty हिंदी बहुत प्यासा प्यासी हरे कृष्ण. बहुत प्यासा is only men can be hungry, only masculine. Even for women प्यासी. पर then हथिनी प्यासी थी. हाथी प्यासा था. हरे कृष्ण. So but even that प्यासा हाथी एक्चुअली प्यास है, इच्छा है पानी जाके पिए, पर सुबह पानी इतना ठंडा है. Lakshmana is explaining, it takes the trunk near the water and withdraws the trunk before touching water. This is such beautiful description in Ramayana. One more description is there. तो बताते हैं कि पक्षी जो हैं ये बाहर कभी कभी कौवा जैसे कभी कभी बरसात जब होता है तब you know just to polish their feathers they don't come. These are waterborne birds. जो पानी में रहते हैं वो भी पानी के अंदर नहीं जाते हैं सुबह. They are waiting for the afternoon time to go into that. So pura, just like in the Bhagavatam you have a chapter called Rituvarna. Vrindavan mein Rituvarna. It's such a exquisite chapter. Prabhupada published a separate book on that. Anybody got the name? हमारा हरे कृष्ण आंदोलन एस्टैब्लिश करने के पहले प्रभुपाद made many attempts to take Krishna consciousness to the outside world. तब जापान में एक बहुत बड़ा आर्ट एग्जीबिशन होने वाला था. तो प्रभुपाद को किसी ने बताया कि people of Japan they like art very much and nature. So if you see even now we see a lot of oriental art. उसमें you know we see water, we see mountains, we see background, we see birds in them, ये सब दिखता है. तो प्रभुपाद ने ये ऋतु वर्णना का इतना सुंदर एक छोटा पुस्तक बनाया और उसके लिए they had somebody, if I'm right, in Japan or a Chinese artist, I don't think the Chinese were open at that time, Japanese artist who actually drew various of those plates. Even now that book is available with us. Look at those, they're beautiful. They are so beautiful. तो ऋतु का वर्णन जो है ऋतु से हमें सीखने के लिए बहुत मिलता है. Yes, just as which is that Chaurashtakam verse where he says he stole from the clouds. Ghanashyama choram. Nava Ghanashyama Navambuddha Shyamala Kanti choram. Ye Nava Ambuda means a newly formed cloud. Newly formed cloud. देखो बरसात होने के बाद cloud जो है it becomes lighter in color, it becomes lighter in its consistency, because of which even a small wind will blow it away. But when it's a cloud full with precipitation ready cloud, with heavy laden with water, that is why we say Ghana Shyama. That Ghana is a word that is used for dark, but it's also used for heavy. Yes? तो उस डिस्क्रिप्शन में बताया जाता है कि घनश्याम मेघ जो है वो गृहस्थ जैसा है. He is burdened with family, shackled with all. भैया कल सऊदी अरेबिया चले जाओ. How can I go? My family, everything, you can't go. You're stuck. Yes? But जो मेघ already बरसात हो गया, then it is light. It is ready to go anywhere. So that is compared to the sadhus and the sannyasis and the brahmacharis. For everything in the Ritu, there is a beautiful description and analogy, and how we may be able to understand from nature, we can understand spirituality. I've had a few lectures on that, just talking about those aspects with regard to rain and the beauty of nature. Then when the rain starts, अब तक तो सब लोग चुप थे, सडनली मेंढक का शुरू हो जाता है। और मेंढक बहुत नाटक ज्यादा करेगा तो आ जाएगा मेंढक को खाने के लिए सांप। तो बताते हैं कि मेंढक जैसे, और वैष्णव आचार्य आर कमेंटिंग ऑन दिस टू से, मेंढक जैसे मायावादी, हाउ दे आर टॉकिंग ऑल दिस big philosophy. There is no point. The Kala Sarpa is going to come and eat you away, man. There is no point in all this croaking. So like this, every single aspect of Ritu Varnana is explained with a spiritual parlance. Well, I've gone way beyond my time. So the water is very, very cold. और दिन में because of the fog, सूर्य का जो प्रभाव है हम पर बहुत कम पड़ता है. Yes? Which also, that's also the reason why it's darker. It's not as bright as it is in the usual course. And temperature naturally comes down because of that. It's like having a translucent glass, and the light that's going to come in is going to be less. The heat that's going to come in is going to be. I'm talking to some interior decor and furnishing people here. Okay. तो फिर बताया जाता है कि जंगल में जो लोग हैं, they actually don't like the winter season because it's full of trees, and the trees, इसका मतलब है trees के नीचे everything is cold, हवा भी आता है, cold wind is going to hit you. So forest dwellers plight, he talks about them. Then he says, this was all there as part of this chapter. He says, longer and colder nights. The nights are longer, the days get shorter in the winter. That's another reason. फिर बताते हैं, any of us have had the good fortune of going and sleeping outside in the moon, open to the moon, as a kid. What an experience, yes? It's fun. एसी की जरूरत नहीं है, फैन की जरूरत नहीं है. शायद उसके कुछ घंटे पहले, 5-6 hours in the evening, they'll go pour some water in that space. वो पूरा जो गर्मी है वो निकल जाएगा. Then you go छटाई लगा लो उधर, जाकर सो जाओ. Wow, what fun! That's something to be. How many of you have not had this pleasure? भैया हाथ ऊपर करो यार. क्या चाह प्रभु? This not to miss. इधर तो नहीं मिलेगा. This is something. So he says, बात ये है कि because the moon is not there, yes, not to be seen. Anybody read a book in the moonlight? Anybody tried it? You've done that? Man.
In the car.
Nice, yeah. It's bright enough for you to read a book in the moonlight. There's that much night. Just needs getting a little accustomed, and that's it. In the farm, we used to walk in the path. It's not that you have to have a torch every this thing. A torch we would have because we were afraid of the snakes. But in reality, you can actually see. So he's saying, तो रात में जाकर सो नहीं पाएंगे क्योंकि बहुत ठंडा है. Yes, and if the moon, specifically when it is Purnima kind of time, there is going to be more wind. It's going to get cooler. You can't sleep out there. How many ever extra layers you're going to wear on you, it's not going to help. And then he says, Lakshmana is describing how the moon has become blurred. If I need to clean my glass many times, okay, no water. Can I see? He says, moon becomes like you're seeing something on a mirror, where there is vapor. जब vapor है, कुछ दिखता नहीं है. इसी तरह ऊपर, when we look at the moon also has an orb around it. You know the moon is there. You know there is a little extra light, but the moon is not seen. How many of you have noticed this? Yeah, we have to be out there in nature. और आंख खोलकर उधर लेट जाएंगे ना, तब पता चलेगा ओ तारे भी है दुनिया में. ओ Yeah, otherwise we never recognize, we don't remember any of that, you know. So then, तो फिर बताते हैं तो पूरी फुल मून पौर्णिमा उसका भी जो हवा निकल गया, उसका कुछ दम नहीं है. He says, you know why? Because the sun has taken the property of the moon. This is in Lakshmana's words. What has happened? Sun has become milder. Otherwise, सूर्य को ऐसे थोड़ी देख सकते हैं. It's not possible to easily see the sun. So when the sun takes up the property of the moon, it becomes more murky, like the moon. So it takes the property of the moon has no deposit left. It's done up. तो फिर बताता है कि मून चंद्र जो है सीतेव इव च आतप श्याम लक्ष्यते न तु शोभते. It's not beautiful. It's looking shriveled away. Just like एक फ्लावर है, फूल है, वो बहुत सन में रख दिया कुछ देर तो उसका पेटल्स सब will get shriveled away. तो सीतेव dried up. Yes. सीतेव चातप सीता सीता आतप चातप च आतप means Shita, Atapa is heat. So if Sita has traveled one day in heat, how shriveled she will be, like that the moon has become. This is Lakshmana's statement here. See the kind of comparisons and the beauty of how this has been put in place. And then he is saying, बाहर जाके खेत में यदि जाएंगे, how many of us actually lived in a space where there has been some agriculture around you? खेती में. Nice. What an experience is. In the morning, हम एक बार एक वीडियो ले रहे थे फार्म में, तो एक वक्त आया था, वो बहुत वीडियोग्राफी स्पेशलिस्ट है, वो हाथ में एक स्प्रे बॉटल लेके आया. तो पूछा बात क्या है? वो बोलता है जो वीडियो लेते हैं ना, जब उसके ऊपर ड्रॉपलेट्स, पानी का ड्रॉपलेट लीफ के ऊपर होता है ना, दैट इज द एक्चुअल इमेज. इसके लिए वो स्प्रे लेके मारता है स्प्रे. बट कृष्णा इज डूइंग दिस for months all over the world for free. Spray bottle business. Yes, it is happening by Krishna's arrangement. So he is describing that here. He is saying the barley and wheat, once they have become dry, now they are all, and talk about the rice, चावल का भी दाना जो है वो golden हो जाता है. If you see a rice field, the whole thing is जो पहले complete green था, वो अभी now it's completely become brown, with a little bend, ready to fall at any point in time. So he's describing that, and then says, even दोपहर को सूर्य का उतना डर नहीं लगता है किसी को. And then he says, elephant का तो बता दिया, birds का बता दिया, and then he says forests में कुछ speciality नहीं रहता है. Because when you get into winter, you don't have flowers. Flowers happen winter के बाद, summer के पहले, summer के बाद, winter के पहले. Winter में थोड़ी होगा. So he says the forests are all not very interesting in this particular season. और फिर बताते हैं, सुबह सुबह जब इधर जाते हैं ऐसे समय पे, या even during the day, दिखता नहीं है पर सुनाई देता है. क्या है? पानी में जो क्रेन, स्टॉर्क, जो भी पक्षी है, दिखते नहीं है पर पता चलता है कि वो इधर है, आवाज सुनाई देता है. So all this is such beautiful description here. और बताते हैं कि लोटस पॉन्ड्स में कमल बहुत हैं, पर उनके जो पेटल्स जो हैं, they are withered away because lotus and many of these flowers need sun for them to come out in their full glory. Yes, and that's not happening. ये सब बताकर सडनली बोलते हैं, जैसे ये कमल जो है, what do you say withered away in Hindi? मुरझा गया है, मुरझा जाता है। उसी तरह बोलते हैं उधर भरत भी, लक्ष्मण इज रिमेंबरिंग स्ट्रेट अवे, ही सेइंग भरत भी ऐसे ही होगा। क्यों? क्योंकि भरत जो है, आप हे राम आप नहीं है। जैसे सूर्य के बिना कमल का जो अंकुड़ी जो है मुरझा जाता है, इसी तरह आप नहीं है तो भरत कैसा होगा, मैं इससे तुलना कर रहा हूं। आई एम एबल टू कंपेयर एंड अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट्स हैपनिंग। फिर बोलता है कि भरत जो है, हम लोग भी विश्वामित्र थोड़ा फॉरेस्ट ले गया पिकनिक के लिए, उसको ये भी एक्सपीरियंस नहीं है, बहुत लाड़ प्यार से उधर मामा के घर में था, उसको ये सब एक्सपीरियंस है ही नहीं। और उसको अभी उसने आहार छोड़ दिया, अच्छा आहार छोड़ दिया, धरती पर सो रहा है। ये बहुत, इट्स अ वेरी डिफिकल्ट सिचुएशन फॉर भरत। और फिर बताते हैं कि भरत जो है सरयू नदी में स्नान करने के लिए रात में जाते हैं। ठीक है, रात में स्नान करते हुए किसी को प्रॉब्लम हो गया था भागवतम में, फिर जाकर किसी को लेके आना पड़ा, याद है? हाँ जी जी। तो ये रात को क्यों जाते हैं? तो टीकाकार लिखते हैं कि भरत समझते हैं कि हमारे जो भी, वो नंदग्राम में थे, अयोध्या में थोड़ी थे, नंदग्राम में थे, पर उधर भी he didn't want to disturb his people, because वो सोचते थे लोग जब मुझे देखते हैं तो इमीडिएटली उनको वो इंसिडेंट याद आता है कि इसी के कारण राम हमारे से निकल गया था इधर अयोध्या से, therefore I will change their state of mind, therefore I don't want to go. He would go and take bath in the night for that purpose. And then the Tikakar says there is one more this thing also, explanation that's given for that also. I'll share that with you. Lakshmana experienced तो अभी सच थोड़ा बाहर निकल आता है। तो पहले बताते हैं, I'll come back to this point, just remind me, I have to talk about the such. We'll come back to the such. Hey, I seek permission. I need 5 minutes more. Can we?
Sure.
Granted? 5 minutes. तो पहले इधर बात होता है भरत के गुण के बारे में। ये लक्ष्मण के मुंह से भरत का गुणगान हो रहा है। तो बोलते हैं पद्म पत्रेक्षणो ईक्षणो, his eyes are like lotuses. विरह श्यामो, विरह के कारण his body is dark, but even naturally his body is dark because Bharata and Rama had the same complexion. Lakshmana and Shatrughna had the same complexion, they were very fair. उसी कारण गुहा के पास जब आते हैं, in Ramcharitmanas it is Kevat के पास, when they come to the Guha zone, निषाद राज के पास जब आते हैं, तब निषाद राज देखता है कि ये absolutely it looks like the same. There's Rama and Lakshmana who have come back. Yes, they exactly look like the same. So Bharata, तो Viraha, not Viraha, this great Veera, निरुदरो, निरुदरो क्या मतलब?
पेट कम ना?
हाँ, जिम जाता है हर दिन, निहि उदरा, no stomach, very nice. Yes, mind you, these are full-blooded Kshatriyas. They are practicing war every day, and he is not eating also. Yes, put the 2 and 2 together, and this is the perfect combination for 6 packs. Yes. Then he says, what is the quality of इनका गुण क्या है भरत का? धर्मज्ञः सत्यवादी, धर्म जानता है और सत्य बोलते हैं, सत्यवादी च निषेधने, and जितेंद्रियः, he is won over his senses and he has controlled his senses completely. That is, कुछ इंद्रिय तृप्ति के लिए कुछ कार्य करने की इच्छुक नहीं. He is feeling embarrassed about all that has happened and doesn't want to engage in anything in that manner. ये पहले श्लोक है जो भरत के गुण के बारे में। फिर बोलते हैं प्रियाभिभाषी। दिस इज द क्वालिटी, दिस इज समथिंग दैट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, आई डिडंट वांट टू लीव विदाउट दिस। प्रियाभिभाषी मीन्स भाषा जो बोलते हैं वो सबके लिए प्रिय। दिस इज द बिगेस्ट लर्निंग फॉर मी, वेरी टफ। Every time I read this, so my wife now tells me, hello, Ramayana, okay, Hare Krishna, for that moment. But then, Priya Abhibashi, Maduro, yes, sweet speech, Dirghabahu, Arindama, yes, one who wins over his enemies, Dirghabahu, big long arms, Ajanulambita Bhujau, that famous verse about Mahaprabhu. Yes, and Satyajna, Vividan, Bhogan. Yes, Aryam Sarvatmana Shritaha. Sarvatmana Shritaha. So what is it? What is he talking about? Sarvatmana Shritaha means under all circumstances he has always been Ashritaha. आपके आश्रय में सदैव रहा है ये, तो उसके बारे में इज कंप्लीटली कंट्रोल्ड, सच अ वंडरफुल पर्सनालिटी, इज सेइंग ऑल दिस। फिर बताते हैं एक्चुअली कि उसने स्वर्ग को भी त्याग दिया। क्यों? एक्चुअली दिस लक्ष्मणा's इंडिकेशन टू से दैट आप नहीं है इसलिए नरक जैसे जी रहा है वो, यस, बट आपके लिए कुछ भी करने के लिए तैयार। दैट इज द पॉइंट ही सेट असाइड। सो he says Bharata is an exception. Oh, in what way is Bharata an exception? Na pitriyam anuvartante matrakam dvipada iti. Na pitriyam anuvartate. The dvipada means two-legged. हम लोग pitriyam na anuvartate. There's a general saying that the humans generally and specifically the males don't take to the father. Matrakam dvipada iti, but they take to the mother. But here he says kyato loka pravado ayam bharatena. What he has done? Anyataha kritam. How Bharata is, he has changed it because he is not like Kaikeyi. Yes, who is he like? It says he is Bhrata Dasharato Yasya Sadhuscha Bharataha Sutaha. So then he is saying, it surprises me. बात यह है कि उसका पति एक साधु व्यक्ति है, उसका पुत्र एक साधु व्यक्ति है, और ये कैसे है ऐसे? He is coming to talk about how can katam nu samba Kaikeyi tadrishi krura शीलिनी, क्रूर शील ये कैसे बनी? How did she become like this? अभी भैया तो राम immediately is responding to this, unable to tolerate the criticism of his mother. परिवादम जनयः तम असह्यम, सहन नहीं कर पाए राम। तो राम ने बोला अभी तक अच्छा ऋतु वर्णना कर रहे थे भैया, अभी किधर इधर चला आया? And he says, go ahead. Yeah, I don't want to hear this, but continue speaking about Bharata. You see how beautifully he navigates this? बहुत बार, see, my father would say this again and again. 595. My father would say this again and again. बच्चों को हम बोलते हैं ये मत करो, वो मत करो, ये मत करो, वो मत करो. But he said, can you give him something to do? Then you won't have to tell him what not to do. Yes? इसी तरह राम उसको बोल रहा है, don't talk about Kaikeyi. ऐसे नहीं बोला. He said, no, instead of talking about Kaikeyi, can you tell me more about Bharata? It's just beautiful. It's just beautiful. So, I said there is a secret behind this. And the secret was, लक्ष्मण ने पहले देखा कि सुबह सुबह इतना समय में, इतना ठंडा मौसम में इनको जाके गोदावरी में स्नान करना पड़ता है, जिधर हाथी भी अपना सूंड अंदर डालने के लिए तैयार नहीं है, इस परिस्थिति में उनको स्नान करना पड़ रहा है, ये सब किसके कारण हुआ? उसके कारण हुआ। यस, हम लोग दूसरे पतली गली पकड़ते हैं ना, नॉर्मली वी विल फाइंड सम अदर रीजन. Oh, you know that person is coming. Oh, but you know why that is happening. Then we will come. वो नया बड़ा साजिश है वो create करके then we will come to the fact. Lakshmana is also doing the same. Yes, he gave this big talk about all this Ritu Varnana, and then he spoke glories of Bharata for 2-3 verses, and then came and gave a back to Kaikeyi. Yes, yeah, but the purpose here is not himself. The purpose is here, he is not able to bear the pain that Sita and Ram are going through. Therefore, if we do that for our own self, that's definitely no. But when you do that, when you see that the Lord has to go through this, that is your heart, that is bhakti, that's the purity of Lakshmana that is showing up. So, I stop here. There are a couple more points, after which we will go to see the new turn, twist in the story from the next week onwards. Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman and Ki Jai. 2 minutes behind schedule, excuse me.